Donald Trump is now the 47th president of the United States. Elect. President-elect. Good morning, Rise and Freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. And now you're all in big, big trouble. Donald Trump, re-elected, the first president in 100 years since Grover Cleveland to become a president who will serve a non-consecutive term. Congratulations. What are we feeling today? Did anybody get any sleep out there? I don't think so. Certainly not me, but I'm still here. And I'm still on the Freedom Watch. Republican Donald Trump. I'm reading the news this morning, and it's just so obvious how much we despise, why we despise the media so much. I'm reading the Wall Street Journal. Here's how they announced this. Republican Donald Trump leveraged anxieties about the cost of living and illegal immigration to defeat Vice President Kamala Harris, reclaiming the White House in a victory certain to alter America's priorities and economic relationship with the world. What is wrong with these people? Guess what, you guys? Guess what? Guess what soundbite is going away?
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live.
That's it. That's it. Those they're all going away. You won't have to hear these anymore. Trump, who won the election in 2016 as the 45th president, now will be the 47th and just the second candidate in U.S. history to win non-consecutive White House terms. Thank you, Cecilia. Sleep is for the weak. He asked voters to consider if they were better off under his first presidency, as Harris struggled to distance herself from an unpopular President Biden during a combative and expensive campaign that exposed the nation's deep partisan divisions. Donald Trump, in his speech last night, well, it had a little bit of a slight Blues Brothers ring to it. Donald Trump said that essentially he was on a mission from God.
Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission. The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no job like this. This is the most important job in the world. Just as I did in my first term, we had a great first term, a great first term. I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept.
Meanwhile, over at, was it Howard University last night in Washington, D.C., the Kamala took to the stage to sing one of her favorite songs.
Says Kamala Harris sings her greatest hits.
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where down in my heart? Where down in my heart? I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where down in my heart to say, can I go?
Oh,
How dare you?
Joni Rankin, God bless America. Thank you very much. I'm a loser, baby, so why don't you something? It's the Wake Up America. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. Donald Trump is now the president-elect of the United States. He might as well just become the president because Joe Biden doesn't seem to do the job. Joe Biden did get up to address the nomination of Donald Trump for president, or the winning of the election last night, and he had this to say last night from the White House.
My fellow Americans and autists who voted for Trump, it's your boy Dank Brandon here. I want to take a moment to congratulate the DNC on losing another election to Donald Trump. You replaced me with a candidate who has the same likability as Greasy, hobo taint and expected to win, and they say I'm the retarded one. The Democrats said that I was too old, that I was too slow, that I was a joke. Well, here's a joke for you. What do Willie Brown and the 2024 presidential election have in common? Kamala Harris blew both of them. I shouldn't have said that. But seriously, I mean, first Hillary loses to Donald and now Kamala. This man has beaten more women than Doug Emhoff. Anyways, congrats on losing to Hitler again. I hope he locked you all up this time. Thank Brandon out.
Oh my God, it's so good. This is why you watch the Wake Up America show, because you know I'm going to show you the good stuff. I'm going to show you the good stuff. Donald Trump is victorious, and it's all over but the crying. Who is to blame, though, last night? The Democrats are looking around to point some fingers, but the fingers all seem to be pointing back at themselves. It couldn't be tweets like Ali Samarco, a Democratic strategist, former Republican who lives in D.C., who said this yesterday. Ali Samarco tweeted, "White men without college degrees are going to ruin this country." Oh. Somebody posted, actually, they built the country. And then she said, no, slaves did. Oh, slaves did. Look at this stupid liberal bitch, Ali Samarco. I love Tommy Laren's in there in the chat saying, what happened to you? This might be the most condescending and ignorant thing I've read from someone I thought was a fair-minded girl. She's got a D after her name, Tommy. What's wrong with you? Entropy Nomad, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. You live in a zoo, you look like a monkey, and you smell like one too, and many more. Thank you, Entropy. Blue Strike wants that clip. I know I'm going to play it again this morning, so you're definitely going to see it again. Donald Trump giving his victory speech last night is saying, it is clear we have achieved the most incredible political...
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs...
After we put them in the concentration camps, right? This country can heal after we put them in the camps. Since we are fascists after all, listen to this.
Final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election where one side stands
propagandized,
for freedom, while the
we've
other
bullshitted, we've
meets
lied,
the
we've slandered.
textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial
Excuse
regime.
me, what?
Stands for freedom, while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia.
They're not okay. They are not okay. All of them to the gulags.
Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends.
You guys, you're gonna have an awesome day. You're gonna have a wonderful day. We're going to have a fantastic day today, and I'd love it if you could just spread the joy around. Click the like button on the stream. If today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show, what's up? I'm Austin Peterson. Welcome to my fun house. It's like Pee-wee's Playhouse, right? Except the we isn't P. The P is we. The P's not we. The we's the P. Wait, what's the P? The P? What P? I don't know. Somebody bless me with something.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, God.
Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
What? Sorry, guys, before we go to the next topic here, Doge Field Agent, it's your mission, should you choose to accept it, to become a member of the Department of Government Efficiency. Today, you go to forlibertyshop.com, get yourself an official Field Agent t-shirt. We've also got it as a hoodie, identifying you as a member of the Department of Government Efficiency. Here I am on the road again. Here I go. Turn the page. Doge Field Agents. Here I am on the show again. Here I am upon the stage. Here I go, sporting Trump again. Here I go, turn the page. Yeah. See, Cat Dad, he says he was so excited he forgot to hit the like button. Exactly, thank you. Every time you don't hit the like button, I'm going to press this button. There are 321 people on this stream. If I don't get 321 likes by the end of this show, I will press this button so many damn times. I swear to God, I will do it. I will push that button. We love Dank Brandon. Yes, we will play the Joe Biden clip again here in just a few minutes. We've got memes out the wazoo. We've got videos. We've got funny videos. We've got sad videos. We've got scary videos. We've got pretty much anything you need for all of your Trump the election.
Worst vice president, you're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
Alakablamo, we're so glad to have our friends joining us this morning. You can send us a text to at 573-319-1586. Tell us, AP, you'll be angry and sad. They told us we would own nothing and be happy. We'll tell them that they can own a tissue and they can live in a box inside the concentration camp. Inside the camp. We'll make sure that they get exactly what they had in store for us. But to the victors go the spoils, and certainly there are many people. There's a lot of congratulations to go around for people a lot of backs to be patted on this morning. Let's give it up for people like Cliff Maloney. Let's give it up for the PA Chase. My good bud Cliff Maloney is hopefully getting some well-deserved rest today. He brought in Pennsylvania along with Scott Pressler and the RNC. So many people stepped up and made Pennsylvania red. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who helped to throw in, lend a helping hand, even those who jumped in at the very end. Cecilia got herself a nice official Doge hoodie. Now, you are going to love that hoodie, Cecilia. Let me just tell you why. Because that hoodie is going to come to you into the mail with a special little package insert there. And I just want you to know, Cecilia, how much we appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the Wake Up America show. But there was one man who rose above the rest in the amount of work that he did and everything that he sacrificed to help Donald Trump win and to protect free speech and to make America great again. I think you know who that is. Take a look and a listen.
Well, X is, I think, the one place where you can find out the truth.
Yes.
And
the only place.
Yeah.
So how much pressure, to the extent you can say, has there been on you to shut it down or to censor it?
Well, I mean, apart from the multiple Democrats saying that I should go, they want to put me in jail, take away all government contracts from my companies, nationalize my companies, deport me as an illegal, and have me arrested because I'm apparently Putin's best friend. Nothing besides those things.
Elon Musk. That's right. The View had an unexpected surge in viewership this morning. We're reading the news. Everyone is saying, I've never wanted to watch The View more in my entire life. Donald Trump Jr. says, if you want to see the most entertaining television in history, tune into The View tomorrow. The View is going to get the highest ratings they've ever had. It's going to be so much fun to watch this morning. Don't let your current euphoria distract you from the fact that The View will air tomorrow. Are you guys excited? We're going to have so much fun this week. I'm going to cut every single clip. I'm going to play every funny meme. I'm going to play every video. I'll show you every funny meme. We're going to have an absolute blast because Donald Trump won re-election for president of the United States. My buddy Connor Martin sharing us over there on X.com this morning. Thank you, Connor. I know that we are also very disappointed and sad to hear some bad news last night. There was a lot of good news, but some things didn't go our way. You never get 100% of everything that you want. And I was sad to hear that Lily Tang Williams lost her election in New Hampshire. But let's give it up for Lily. She fought the good fight. She became a national figure. I know what that's like in that last 48 hours when all the eyes are on you and then all of a sudden everything seems to kind of fade away and to disappear and you feel that loss and disappointment. I know that Lily she's probably in a little bit of a dark place this morning, even if she's not letting on, if she's awake. But Lily Tang Williams fought the good fight. She's one of us. And I don't think that this is, if I could speak to Lily, I would tell her, Lily, you fought the good fight. You ran an amazing campaign. And I don't think that this is the final chapter for you, Lily. I think that this is actually just the beginning. I think it's time for us to consider maybe an appointment to the Department of Government Efficiency for a Lily Tang Williams. Let's give it up. And of course, here in the state of Missouri, closer to home, we did lose the amendment that when it came to protecting the life of the unborn. Amendment 3 passed yesterday with overwhelming support of the Democratic majority, reminding us of why we are not a democracy in this country, and we probably need something more like an electoral college on the state level. Missouri voted yesterday to constitutionally legalize abortion, which places a barrier in our way at removing it that might be insurmountable. That is just the truth. I'm not giving up per se, but I am saying that it's highly likely to be the case that abortion will be legal in Missouri for a very long time. And it is very sad to see. But I posted this morning over on X that I still think that, it turns out, and looking at the race, abortion did lose in Florida, thank goodness. But it turns out that making your entire party a single-gendered minority party with the aim of disenfranchising, ridiculing, and looting another entire gender and class is a bad strategy for the Democrats. Huh. Interesting. Turns out that that's actually a really bad strategy. I know for many of you who are watching us over on Rumble this morning, of the 334, good morning, Rumblers. Nice to see you. Many of you are regulars, but I know many of you are not. We just got a follow from a new friend, Massa Molly, over on Rumble. I got the alert on my phone. It's nice to see you, Massa Molly, and we appreciate you joining us here on the Wake Up America show. I hope that you'll come back and join us again tomorrow morning. The show's schedule is Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time, and it's 2-hour live stream. We have a lot of fun, and we're a really motley crew. And so I hope that you'll drop some comments in the chat. If today's your first time watching the show and you want to be like Molly, then click that follow button on the feed and come back and join us again tomorrow morning. We do have Judge Andrew Napolitano this morning, 8 a.m. Central, big brain time. I must warn you, the judge is probably not going to be happy. He's not going to be celebrating like the rest of us because he didn't vote for either one of them, I guess. Maybe he left it blank, but I guess we'll find out. Maybe he'll tell us who he voted for. Maybe he won't. But the judge is just very curmudgeonly these days. I wasn't able to convince him to vote for Donald Trump, but it's good to hear from people who didn't vote for the president and what their reasons were. I say the president-elect. The biggest, most exciting news I'm seeing this morning is Rand Paul, next Senate Majority Leader. Oh, my Lanta? That's some very exciting news. But of course, we should turn back to MSNBC last night, which was quite entertaining.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist, right-wing, fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place, or does it make it more like some of the other southern states that don't get a lot of investment and interest from?
I mean, it also
particularly
means that
international. It's a pure Project
Florida.
2025.
Florida's a pure Project 2025 state. Yes! Democrats make it sound so awesome. Florida, it's a pure Project 2025 thing. It's a fascist state. If Florida is fascist, how much do you want to bet that Joy Reid, when she vacations, she goes to Florida? Wrong button.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Florida, it's a pure Project 2025 state. I'm like, so the Democrats are like, no, do not come to Florida. Do not come.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
I'm going to come. Donald Trump on a mission from God. It's now clear, he says, we've achieved the most incredible political.
It needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory.
C.O. Day, he donated $1. Thank you, C.O. Day, for the coverage through the night. And then we had another friend who donated this morning as well, Drew Van Runkle. Thank you, Drew. I know that money's tight, but guess what? Can you bless me with something now that Donald Trump is president of the United States? Today's a good day.
Money-wise, please.
Can you suck it?
Today's a good day to go to forlibertyshop.com, guys, and get yourself a Department of Government Efficiency field agent. The shirt looks good, but for many of you, like me, in the frozen Midwest, you might prefer a hoodie. We have official Doge field agent hoodies, the Efficiency Enforcement Agency. You've got the official, unofficial logo that says "In Musk We Trust" on the front, and on the back, it identifies you as a member of the Department of Government Efficiency. Boy, I'm glad that he won, so these hoodies will actually sell. Nobody was buying anything really the last couple of days because they're like, I don't know if I want to buy Trump stuff, but look at this. Now, I made a super high quality, and then I'm going to just do this quick read, guys, and then I'll get off of this. I made a super, super high quality Adidas hoodie for you guys. Says Occupy Mars. So if you guys are a big fan of Elon Musk, this one is a little bit more expensive. It is $69.69. Thank you, Massamali. That's very generous of you, Molly, and I appreciate that. I'll use that to feed my baby. And my sweet little baby Hazel Rose will be on the show with her beautiful, sweet, redheaded libertarian mother, Stephanie, on Friday. Stephanie's very happy. She voted for Trump. Did you guys see the pictures? I took some pictures of me and my baby. There we are. Look at that. What do I get for $10? I get AP not reading my Rumble rant. Sorry, they're flying so fast, Adbod. Thank you, Kermode. See, this is me voting no on Amendment 3. I voted against the killing of the babies because I love the babies. They are so pretty and so cute and so sweet. I'm just going to fast forward through some of the media that I shared on my X account for you here real quick. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Grover Cleveland parallels alone are so exciting for me. Ashley Ann, good morning, Ashley. Welcome. You made it. We did it. You're not dreaming. Knock, knock. Wake up, guys. It's America again. It's morning in America again. We're all so thrilled. The Grover Cleveland parallels. I like this meme I posted. Did the Democrats win Iowa? Burt Toast Space Girlfriend, good to see you again. Says Joy said extreme extremism. Extreme extremism? I'm not quite sure. Did the Democrats win Iowa? Remember that poll? The Democrats were going to win Iowa?
I go first.
Yeah, I don't think that the Democrats won Iowa. We're just going to go through my X account this morning. The ladies are very upset this morning. There's a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth. Men, boo. I don't know if you can see it over on the chat here. I'll have to pull this over so you can see the rest of the meme here or what's being said. So this was a response to the volatile mermaid, apparently quite volatile. She says, at this point, it's abundantly clear that it was never really but her emails. It was but they're females. Excuse me.
Dare you?
Ladies, calm down because it's time for men.
My fellow Americans and autists who voted for Trump, get your boy Dank Brandon here. I want to take a moment to congratulate the DNC on losing another election to Donald Trump. You replaced me with a candidate who has the same likability as Greasy, Hobo Taint, and expected to win, and they say I'm the retarded one. The Democrats said that I was too old, that I was too slow, that I was a joke. Well, here's a joke for you. What do Willie Brown and the 2024 presidential election have in common? Kamala Harris blew both of them. I shouldn't have said that. But seriously, I mean, first Hillary loses to Donald and now Kamala. This man has beaten more women than Doug Emhoff. Anyways, congrats on losing to Hitler again. I hope he locked you all up this time. Dank Brandon out. My fellow autists who voted for Trump.
Oh my God!
From now on, it's going to be America first, okay? America first.
Yes.
Build that wall. 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 Build that wall.
We're having an absolutely fantastic morning. Donald Trump, elected president of the United States. He is now the president-elect. Voters didn't reject women. They rejected Kamala Harris. Burnt Toast Space Girlfriend says, don't let the Kamala cackle die. Other people want to kill it. Steelbringer, thank you for the $5 donation. Oh, you guys. Dollar makes me holla.
Can you bless me with something?
Thank you, guys. Kamala Harris is the loser of the 2024 presidential election. Donald Trump has 277 electoral votes, according to the AP, with several states still left to be decided, but also leaning in Trump's direction. We're hearing some news this morning that in Michigan, that Donald Trump apparently is winning Michigan, but the Republican Senate candidate there is falling behind. An interesting situation. We'll have to follow that and also keep an eye on Arizona. We've got two more guests to join us on the show today. We'll have Judge Napolitano and a Make Good because we didn't have John Miltimore. So we'll have a Wednesday with Miltimore. How's that? At 8:30. He's secretly happy that this all happened. All these curmudgeonly libertarians kind of like, I don't know, Donald Trump and tariffs and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. But still, we got bigger fish to fry, bigger problems and all that. So I imagine the judge was going to come on here and be like, rumph. It doesn't matter. And then John's going to be kind of like, I was secretly really thankful, but now I could say I'm glad. The interesting thing about the results from last night is that New York is now closer to being a swing state than Texas is. After the results last night, for a while, we thought Texas might be close to a swing state. Not after last night. New York State is now almost a swing state. It's almost purple. Yes, I want New York, baby. I want to take New York, baby. Let's do it. Muppets take Manhattan. Yeah. Let's go to Trump Tower. I got so many people messaging me this morning. Already, some people are chalking up Harris's loss to sexism, misogyny, and racism. I love that there's a link to every single one. The biggest mistake Kamala Harris made is not being a 60-year-old white man, wrote one woman.
God! No, God, please, no!
Oh, somebody else deleted their tweet. EJ Dixon on Twitter said, wow, people hate women really is the explanation for everything, huh? Jermaine Greer's quote, Jill Filipovic posted this one. Women have very little idea of how much men hate them. It's actually true. You could say that is true. Women, you don't know how much we hate you. It's not as much as you think. It's far less than what people like Jill Filipovic have. Whenever a woman cries misogyny, a leftist woman cries misogyny, a feminist says misogynist, they're saying that a man is treating a woman the way that women treat women all the time. I'm going to hell. AP's going to hell. Click the like button if you're going to heaven. Ashley Ann 8 says, how bad do you have to F up to lose states that are controlled by blue politics? Great question. Rebecca Jennings posted over on X last night. I don't know why I'm shocked to rediscover how deeply our country hates women. Men are back in the driver's seat. It's flabbergasting how much this country hates women, says broke-ass Stewart over on X. Wajahat Ali Durka Muhammad Jihad says, I had more hope in my fellow Americans. I thought the margins would break for Harris. Racism and misogyny die hard. Onward, we walk and work, folks. Oh, let me get my clock. Why is this ticking? Go back to fucking Durkistan. Get out! Get out! You don't like America? Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out of my country from now on!
It's going to be America first, okay?
If you don't like it, get out! Get out! Get out! America number one. America is the best.
We are led by very, very stupid people.
That's right.
Very, very stupid people.
Yes, it's time.
We cannot
Bow to your sensei!
Yes. We're so glad and thankful to have you here joining us. Did you click the like button yet on the stream? We'd be glad to have your support. Help support the Wake Up America show by clicking that like button and follow as well. I know that for many of you, you're interested in election coverage, but you might not know who I am. I'm Austin Peterson, the host of the show, and I stream the show live Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. And so if you click follow, you'll be able to find us again. It's rumble.com/AP for Liberty. A lot of libertarians are texting me this morning, as a matter of fact, and saying things like they couldn't vote for Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. And, they're saying things like, oh, it was so brutally hard. It's just, what a joke. Can I have a link to Brandon Greasy Hobo Taint clip, please? Yes, you can, as a matter of fact. And I'll play it for you even one more time. This is the clip of the day from last night. Everybody was talking about and sharing the biggest, most viral clip here.
Your boy Dank Brandon here. I want to take a moment to congratulate the DNC on losing another election to Donald Trump. You replaced me with a candidate who has the same likability as Greasy, Hobo Taint, and expected to win, and they say I'm the retarded one. The Democrats said that I was too old, that I was too slow, that I was a joke. Well, here's a joke for you. What do Willie Brown and the 2024 presidential election have in common? Kamala Harris blew both of them. I shouldn't have said that. But seriously, I mean, first Hillary loses to Donald and now Kamala. This man has beaten more women than Doug Emhoff. Anyways, congrats on losing to Hitler again. I hope he locked you all up this time. Thank Brandon out.
They lost to Hitler. They lost to Hitler. Hitler won the election. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. Now, surely some voters might have been motivated by sexism and misogyny, like the viewers of the Wake Up America show, right? Just kidding. But you don't have to imagine a mass hate wave to explain Donald Trump's victory. In the weeks leading up to the election, candidate Harris struggled to define herself. Polls were repeatedly showing little daylight between her and Trump. Often it seemed that Trump's flaws were Harris's main selling point. She was not Trump, right? But who was she? Even Kamala Harris seemed scared to say who she was. It wasn't inspirational. She's got no merch, right? But we do at forlibertyshop.com. Harris avoided laying out her plans outside of protecting abortion access. She had a hard time articulating how her administration would differ from Joe Biden. I mean, she's just kind of probably best understood as like an ambitious vessel for whatever drives Democratic voters in a given era. She represents the Democratic establishment through and through. Will the Democrats learn their lessons from this? I highly doubt it. But if they want to win elections again, they're going to have to regroup. And I wonder if they will turn around and start to change their attitudes away from voices and from opinions like these. Take a listen.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist right-wing fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place, or does it make it more like some of the other southern states that don't get a lot of investment and interest from,
it also
particularly international?
Oh no, we're gonna have international investment, guys, because it's Project 2025 in Florida. Listen, I've got the Joe Biden direct meme leak. I am reposting it right now over on my X account. So if you go to my X account at x.com/AP for Liberty, you can find the Donald Trump, or the Joe Biden dark MAGA, dark Brandon meme that I just shared. There you go. So I just posted it on my X account, okay? Donald Trump elected president of the United States. It's such a beautiful morning, and I just love it because the liberal tears. Does it feel like there's fewer liberal tears going around this year? It does seem as if they were just exhausted, as if we just pounded them into submission. They were too tired. They couldn't keep up with us. And quite frankly, we earned this. We fought for it. It was too big to rig. We won this election fair and square. Donald Trump, giving a rousing victory speech last night, said, well, essentially, he's on a mission from God. Take a listen.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being.
You love to see it. The memes. San Francisco, California, the United States, not today, says Elon. You gotta love Elon. Without Elon, would we have made it? Would we have come this far? I doubt it. Donald Trump's garbage
Worst
day.
Vice President, you're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Worst Vice. Get out of here. I'm going to come.
We're all thankful for Donald J. Trump for saving us from Kamala Harris. And I'm thankful for people like you, CNN, for giving us all this quality entertainment.
So you asked, are there any places? So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
So you asked.
So Jake Tapper was shocked that the map showed Kamala didn't outperform Joe Biden in a single county. The Democrats would have been better off with Joe Biden. Isn't it sad to consider that Joe Biden was actually the best hope that the Democrats had in order to win? It is sad.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
But the Democrats are not all right. They're not all right. We have descended, unfortunately, into an entirely fascist state, at least according to some on MSNBC. Let's get a wellness check.
And we begin our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator, and controls and suppresses the press, education, the arts, rewrites history to suit a
Their definition of suppressing the arts is that the government doesn't pay for the arts.
favored and dominant racial class, and foments extravagant corruption in order to enrich the dictator and his friends.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. Good morning. My name is Austin Peterson. We're glad that you're joining us here on the Wake Up America show. The only really sad thing for me last night is that it was actually even that close. I mean, she was such a bad candidate, and the Democrats' message was so terrible that it should have been an absolute blowout. Now, mind you, Trump did win and win by a lot, like we hoped he would. But I think a lot of it actually has to do with with many in the libertarian movement who got on board, because as I'm looking last night at the news last night, the Libertarian Party underperforms in the presidential election. So you see, Reason Magazine really loved Chase Oliver. So they write this, even though Chase sucked and was not a good candidate, they write these kind of fawning pieces about him because they just love the gayest shit. I don't know what it is, but Reason Magazine has just really gone in the tank in recent years. And this is a perfect example, because when I lost my campaign for the Senate here in Missouri, Reason wrote, Peterson trounced in campaign. Like they were dancing all over my grave declaring that like it was a good thing that a libertarian Republican had lost his Senate campaign. But when Chase Oliver, you know, the lefty losertarian guy that's kind of like them, the cocktail type libertarian, when he loses, then it's like, oh, Libertarian Party underperforms in presidential election. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Fuck you. Reason Magazine, all of the media as well. This is not to you, but this is to the media. Can we all just raise our middle fingers and salutes? Not at each other, but like, I'm not pointing it at you. I'm pointing it out to the sides, as you can see. This is to the media. The Wall Street Journal, Reason Magazine, all these fuckers, all these lying, low-class motherfuckers. We beat their ass last night. We kicked their asses. And now, from now on,
it's going to be
say it with
America
me.
First.
America,
okay?
say it with
first.
us. America first, baby. It's going to be American first. LP presidential nominee Chase Oliver on pace to underperform compared to the party's most recent presidential tickets, though it's not clear whether that is a reflection of his candidacy, the party apparatus, the state of electoral politics in 2024, or all of the above. Well, that and you couldn't carry him across the finish line to save your life. Reason? Maybe you're the reason. Reason? Libertarians for Trump. Yes. Skip Bumps, what's up from Colorado? Nice to see you, brother. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm your host, Austin Peterson. We're glad and thankful to have you here. Oh, we sold an official Doge Field Agent hoodie. Yay. An antique cherry red. That's a beautiful one. I hope that you'll enjoy that one. You can join our friend who bought a nice little Department of Government Efficiency hoodie over at forlibertyshop.com. I'm about to go get Judge Andrew Napolitano, get his reaction to all of the news. Just a fair warning, the judge is probably not going to be excited and happy like we are. He's going to talk about all the bad things that have. That's what it is, though. We do listen to people who have opinions that don't agree with us. We're going to hear from Judge Napolitano in a few minutes. But I want to remind you about the Department of Government Efficiency hoodies available, as well as the t-shirts. So if you're a big fan of Elon Musk, get your official Field Agent tee and get mission ready. The Department of Government Efficiency Doge is available. Look at Cecilia's little pop-up there. I think, Cecilia, you can see your little Culturama bag. Actually, your review popped up there in the bottom left-hand corner. Department of Government Efficiency Field Agent tee, mission ready. On the front, you have the Department of Government Efficiency logo. On the back, you have your Department of Government Efficiency Field Agent identifier. So join these two lesbians. There's two lesbians in the Department of Government Efficiency, and every once in a while they might do a guy now too, because as we're men, we took back our country. We demanded all lesbians must have threesomes with straight men. Hot lesbians only. Can we make jokes like that anymore now? We can, because men are back, baby. Including men like Judge Andrew Napolitano joining us live in less than 5. Don't go away. We'll hear from the judge and then John Miltimore. We got a lot more great election coverage. We're going to hear some more spicy takes on the Wake Up America show. Don't go away. Go to forlibertyshop.com on the Wake Up America show's For Liberty Network.
Are you tired of the strange radioactive effects of leftist culture? Do you ever wonder what happened to good old-fashioned American values? Well, fear no more, because there's a new force fighting back against the cultural rot of today. Introducing Culturama, a right-of-center talk show that's taking back the future today. Hosted by none other than blonde bombshell herself, Daniela Pensack. She's not just talking, she's taking culture back. With sharp takes, brilliant guests, and a few surprises along the way. Tune in to the live video podcast twice a week, because the future doesn't have to be weird. It can be Culturama.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
Conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the shot can put chemicals in you that will make you more sensitive to 5G? Do you love America? Do you want more freedom? Do you like smoking hot red-headed libertarians? Then the AP for Liberty shop is for you! Check out all the awesome new merch and have a happy new year! Fight the deep state, reject the Antichrist. Visit AP for Liberty shop and get your patriotic merchandise now, or the deep state wins.
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Donald Trump was the 45th president of the United States. He will now become the 47th president of the United States.
It's going to be America first.
For the very first time since Grover Cleveland. And there are many parallels between his presidency and Donald Trump. So we can talk about that to a man who knows a thing or two about history. My good friend, Judge Andrew Napolitano, the host of Judging Freedom, which you can download on any of your mobile devices. It's a runaway hit. And of course, his fantastic columns at judgenap.com are required reading for every non-aggression principle believing liberty lover in the world. Judge Andrew Napolitano, good morning, sir. And thank you for joining us
Austin,
on this historic day.
With you, my dear man.
Yeah, glad to have you here, Judge. This is history, truly historic event, something that I don't think a lot of people could see. Certainly, the media has blinders on. If you live out here in flyover country, it was a little bit more apparent. But Judge, even New York, the state of New York, has now become almost a swing state. The country is really in a total state of flux, is it not?
Well, I think a couple of things happened. I think the Republican Party under Trump, which I've argued has no principles other than what Trump wants at the moment, nevertheless engineered a historic realignment by bringing in young men that ordinarily don't vote and Latinas, and Latinas, which historically have voted for the Democrats. It was an easy task because Joe Biden really is one of the worst presidents in the modern era because of outlandish spending, because of the Federal Reserve, 2/3 of whose members were appointed by Trump, raising interest rates and borrowing money, and because of wars. I think people are disgusted with both wars. I think the donor class of wealthy Jewish Americans, which has an iron grip on the government, just saw its grip loosened a little bit. And I think the war-mongering neocons saw their grip loosening a little bit. Now, it depends on what Trump does, Austin. 2 days ago, who did he say was on his short list to become Secretary of Defense? Mike Pompeo and Tom Cotton. Good Lord, World War III, here we come. So if he resorts to that, like he once did when he appointed John Bolton his national security advisor, then this tumultuous, historic, triumphant campaign will have been for naught. But if he appoints somebody like my guest today at 11 in the morning, who was the number 4 ranking person in his Defense Department the last 2 years he was in the White House, Colonel Douglas Macgregor, who was the senior military advisor to Ron Paul and for a while advised Bobby Kennedy until they split over the Israeli-Gaza war. If he appointed somebody like that, it would be a cause for great joy and great restraint. We would close half of the 850 foreign military bases that we have, and we would reduce by half the $886 billion we spend on defense budget every year. So there's a lot to try and digest here. The 2 federal cases against him will obviously go away. If I were Joe Biden, I would pardon Donald Trump in both of those cases rather than just letting them sit there until a new attorney general asks the 2 federal judges that have them to dismiss them. He is scheduled to be sentenced on his conviction in New York 2 days before Thanksgiving. I would imagine that either the sentencing goes forward and it's just a fine, or that the sentencing is delayed by 4 years. A custodial sentence is inconceivable at this point. The case in Georgia, where he's one of 17 defendants, will probably proceed without him. Just to refresh everybody's memory, the New York case and the Georgia case are state cases, so he can't directly or indirectly interfere with them. So we're in virgin territory here, both with his triumph, with the rejection of Biden, with the realignment of the Republican Party, and with his heretofore pressing legal issues. I've given you an earful. I apologize for
No, it's good. There's a lot of rabbit holes that I would love to go down in some of the comments that you made there and expand on. But I'm curious because I'm feeling quite excited this morning about the recent conversations I've seen being had about the Department of Government Efficiency, which is really a joke of a name. They don't want to create an actual department. They want to have a commission, an oversight commission, to start cutting back federal bureaucracies. And Elon Musk reached out to Ron Paul and, may tap him for an advisory role in such a situation. So should that happen, should a best case scenario occur where, despite being 89, almost 90 years old, perhaps serving in an advisory role alongside Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy, what should they tackle first if they are empowered to take on the deep state? Where is the soft spot? Where's the weakness? Where should we go after first?
Well,
Department of Education, Housing and Urban Development, the IRS, the Fed. What do you think is the primary goal?
Well, that depends on whether this is going to be window dressing or whether it's going to be constitutionally grounded. If it's going to be constitutionally grounded, 2/3 of the cabinet offices should go. Department of Housing and Urban Development, Health and Human Services, Education, Commerce, all these things are nowhere grounded in the Constitution. The branch of the CIA that engages in undercover activities and wars, which Trump likes, so that's not going to go. It should go. The branch of the FBI that engages in predicting crime as opposed to solving crime, the branch of the FBI that engages in causing crime rather than solving crime, the people that do the stings, all of that should go. My guess is that because Musk will be leading this, he's interested in saving dollars, not in preserving liberty or chaining the government down to the Constitution. I mean, if you really want to get radical, Austin, the Constitution only authorizes 2 federal crimes: treason and debasing the money supply. There are 5,500 federal crimes. So there's a tremendous amount of cutting that can be done. He'll meet resistance on the part of Republicans because they're just as much in favor of big government, their version of big government, as the Democrats are.
Aren't Donald Trump's greatest enemies within the Department of Justice and the FBI? Aren't those in order to save his own bacon before he can start hacking and slashing? He's got to go after the police agents, the police agencies, the enforcement agencies, and the DOJ, right?
Well, it's not just the DOJ, and I hate to use this phrase because it's overused, but it is the deep state. It is the parts of the government that never change. So his bitterest enemies are in the NSA, people that spied on him since he was Mr. Donald Trump, the CIA, the Department of Homeland Security. Austin, the Department of Homeland Security has 160,000 plainclothes police. Well, what the hell do? They don't direct traffic. That's 5 times as many FBI agents as we have. We know what the FBI does. What does the Department of Homeland Security do? I mean, there is ample opportunity for him to cut and slash if he wants to be faithful to the Constitution. But his enemies are in that level of government just below the political appointees, and they're broad. They're in the Federal Reserve. They're in the FDA. They're in the Department of Health and Human Services. They're in the CIA. They're in the NSA. They're in the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. They're in almost all the 3-lettered agencies. They are clearly in the FBI. I mean, you can expect Chris Wray to resign almost momentarily so that Trump doesn't have the opportunity to fire him. Even though Trump appointed him, Biden kept him on. He's not a Biden appointee. He's a Trump appointee.
One of the things that was very revealing that Donald Trump spoke on recently when he talked about putting together his administration, he was asked about the mistakes that he made last time and the people that he hired and brought around him. One of the people that he talked about was Ambassador John Bolton. We know him personally. You were friends with him and colleagues for years, many more years than I was, but I briefly got to know him when I worked at Fox News and had conversations. We talked about this before about him, calling himself a libertarian. A fascinating revelation. Donald Trump talked about having John Bolton as a sort of it's like having a pit bull in a bad neighborhood. that essentially that America's enemies were so terrified of John Bolton that it was like Richard Nixon's crazy bastard strategy against the Soviets. This was this idea that your opponents think that you're insane, so they won't attack you. And I don't know if Donald Trump is going to bring in a neocon or two. I imagine he will, but if so, it might be partially that crazy bastard strategy. I hope that he doesn't put Nikki Haley in charge of something in regards to foreign policy. But we have to think about it like this, right? We've got Tulsi Gabbard and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I mean, if you were president, Judge, you wouldn't put RFK Jr. in charge of oil and gas and energy because you know he would try and regulate it like a liberal. But if you put the right people in the right places, each aligning with their belief in liberty, Tulsi Gabbard perhaps at the VA or Colonel Douglas McGregor as Secretary of Defense, you could kind of war game a best case solution for libertarians to have a really positive outcome come next year. Again, silver linings in clouds, and there are some dark, some dangers and pitfalls, but isn't there a path here for us to actually advance liberty with some of these people, these independent-minded, more liberal-minded, more libertarian-minded people around him?
I think I get what you're saying. I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, and the dust has to settle, and they need to know if the Republicans have kept the House or if it's going to go to the Democrats. If it goes to the Democrats, they will torment him for 2 years and maybe 4. I mean, the idea of appointing John Bolton after the things that Bolton said about him is almost inconceivable to me. Trump is not the forgiving and forgetting type. Bolton's criticisms of Donald Trump have been just about the harshest of anybody in his administration. But I know that argument. And I appreciate that argument about keeping the enemy off balance because they don't know what you're going to do next. And there was a time, I think, when Brezhnev and company really thought that Kissinger and Nixon were crazy, and therefore they better be careful what they do. Trump understands that. I think he'd rather be the one that they think is crazy because Trump is a control freak. And John Bolton can't be controlled in a Trump administration. It's beyond me why he appointed John in the first place. And when John says he's a libertarian, I think he's mocking us. There's not a libertarian bone in his body, and I know him pretty well.
Judge, man, it's just such a great conversation, and I wish I had hours to have it. I could talk about the John Bolton thing, or we could look at the Trump administration itself. It's going to be an interesting challenge for we believers in liberty. I mean, let me start here, Judge. You said that he has a long memory about the people who have said unkind things about him in the past, but you have been an extreme critic of Donald Trump, and you tell the story about the time that you met with him, and he said, "I know you didn't vote for me," but he still was even considering you potentially for a Supreme Court pick, which goes to show that he might be willing to let bygones be bygones to a certain extent. Now, he ultimately didn't go with you. Maybe it was the age or something like that. But at the end of the day, it does seem as if he kind of knows that he has to do what's in his best interest, even if the person had slandered him in the past, right? I mean, you're kind of a living example of that to a certain extent, right?
Well, I never slandered him. My arguments that upset him came long after the consideration for the Supreme Court when I evaluated Bob Mueller's report far differently than Bill Barr did, who, in my view, attempted to whitewash it. Does he have a forgiving bone in his body? Yeah. Can you find it? It's hard to find it. But he's liberated now. He can't seek re-election. He doesn't care, other than his love of adulation by the crowds. He doesn't really care what people think of him. The problem with him is he doesn't have a set, serious ideology. There are some areas where he wants to shrink the government and other areas where he wants to grow it. I mean, I think we should be ready for the most authoritarian presidency since Lincoln. Because
I think it
he
was
does not recognize and does not understand the gravity of the restraints that the Constitution imposes upon him.
I wonder sometimes if our fixed philosophy and our attempt to try and apply our philosophy consistently to inconsistent circumstances and scenarios might not be a weakness from a tactical perspective of advancing our ideas. Donald Trump's, it seems as if not having that same compass that you or I do gives him the flexibility to move somewhat in our general direction that, puts people like the Libertarian Party presidential candidate now pure of heart and pure of, I guess, of reason and ideologically more perhaps closer to where we are, but 0.2% in the polls. I mean, I wonder what the strategy for liberty is going forward if we are sort of they talk about the Constitution being a suicide pact. The non-aggression principle is not a suicide pact, Judge. It's like I didn't consent to not aggressing on people who are by every intent and measure aggressing against me, either through government or through the media to some extent. So I mean, I guess I feel frustrated by the ideological moorings that have become an anchor, they feel like, around our neck, dragging us to the bottom of the ocean and saying, well, at least we were pure, while the left and the authoritarians on the right watch us drown and take our future away. I mean, that's why I'm wearing the hat. I'm not willing to let liberty die in the hopes of being pure. I guess it's not as important to me that I pass a purity test as it is that we get people like Thomas Massie or Rand Paul or Mike Lee or others like us elected and change the country. I mean, can you see kind of where I'm coming from? Or
yeah, I don't agree with anything. It's the first time I profoundly disagreed with you. People like you and I start compromising, there'll be no libertarian standards left. The libertarians need another Ron Paul. Could be you. They need a young, articulate, attractive person to get elected to office with a place to stand. And as Galileo once said, give me a place to stand, a box off of which I can't be knocked, and I'll move the world. But compromising with somebody who has no ideological principles will lead you to some short-term gain, but to long-term demise. I mean, what choices did you have yesterday? Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Was there a choice? No government? Of course not. The government, which runs the elections, will never give you a choice of doing away with the government. It's just a Republican version of government. Think Josh Hawley, if you're in Missouri, that lover of Teddy Roosevelt, or a Democrat version of government. Think Chris Murphy from Connecticut, or one of these classic liberal Democrats. I don't see a bright future for those of us who believe in maximum individual liberty and chaining the government down to the confines imposed on it by the Constitution. The whole history of the Constitution has become, how do we get around it? How do we avoid it? How do we evade it?
Well, I guess I do profoundly disagree with you. I do see a future for people like us who want to bind the government down the chains of the Constitution, because it is you are correct in that it is the natural tendency for government to grow and liberty to shrink. But history is cyclical, right? And history may not repeat, but it certainly does rhyme. And it can't always flow in one direction forever, because at some point you would reach the stage of revolution or rebellion or a complete totalitarian 1984 style government like we would fear. And then there would be a revolution and we would take over, because America is the most heavily armed nation on the planet. And so I see opportunity for people like us who want to bind down the government according to the change of the Constitution and to turn this ship around, provided that we believe it can be done. Right? It's like Ayn Rand had that famous quote. She said, the people who say it can't be done should not be standing in the way of the people who are trying to do it. And for too long, there have been people, it's been our ideological brethren, Judge, not you, but it's been people who believe what you and I believe that have been the biggest throwers of roadblocks. We are our own worst enemies, Judge. The liberty movement are their own. It's not the deep state or the government, all these external factors. It's our own failings, Judge. It's our own failings. We don't need a Ron Paul to save us. We need more people, part of our coalition, to grow. We'll always be a minority, Judge, because not everybody's just going to spend the time to read Human Action and to read A Nation of Sheep and Theodore versus Woodrow, right? But it doesn't take a majority to succeed. And it's not going to be because of one strong man. It's going to be because of a mass movement of people who believe what we believe. At least that's what I think. I mean,
well, the next time you have Thomas Massie on your show, ask him how many people pay attention to his eloquent speeches on the floor of the House of Representatives. And the answer is an easy one. There's nobody there when he gives those speeches. They couldn't care less what a small government constitutionalist thinks. 99% of his colleagues would never go along with what he says. If the House of Representatives or the Senate or the White House were populated with people who think the way Thomas Massie does, which is the way you and I do, which is the way Ron Paul does, which is the way his son Rand Paul does most of the time, not all of the time, there could be this real change. But when you have no choice, big government, really big government, that's it. No choice for no government. Things are just going to keep going on and on and on as they have been. Even Reagan raised more taxes than he cut, expanded the government more than he dialed it back, and had 300 Marines murdered in Lebanon where they shouldn't have been in the first place.
Tonight, Judge, I see something in your future when you go to sleep tonight. You'll be visited by 3 ghosts. The ghost of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And those 3 ghosts...
Future is the one I fear the most.
The ghosts of Christmas future is the scariest one, but they will be 3 presidential ghosts, and they will be Theodore Roosevelt, Grover Cleveland, and Calvin Coolidge will be visiting you tonight. And we'll talk about the parallels between Donald Trump and Grover Cleveland and the differences between them too, Judge. But I'd love to hear who you have coming up on your excellent Judging Freedom show.
Oh, I have Conor McGregor coming up in an hour and a half. I'm sure we'll be having a conversation much like you and I are now. John Mearsheimer today, the great University of Chicago professor. Phil Giraldi, the CIA agent who told George W. Bush Saddam Hussein does not have weapons of mass destruction, and Bush threw him out. And Jeffrey Sachs, the brilliant professor of diplomacy at Columbia University, who argues that the Tony Blinken State Department is the worst America has had since World War II because it won't talk to the other side. It just wants somebody else to pull triggers for it.
Judge Andrew Napolitano, read his columns at judgenap.com and watch his show, Judging Freedom, for the compass that will always point true north. Judge, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Austin. Always a pleasure, my dear man. You know I love you, and I look forward to these Wednesday mornings already. As soon as it's over, I look forward to the next one.
Thank you, Judge. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next week.
My fellow Americans and autists who voted for Trump, it's your boy Dank Brandon here. I want to take a moment to congratulate the DNC on losing another election to Donald Trump. You replaced me with a candidate who has the same likability as Greasy, hobo taint, and expected to win, and they say I'm the retarded one. The Democrats said that I was too old, that I was too slow, that I was a joke. Well, here's a joke for you. What do Willie Brown and the 2024 presidential election have in common? Kamala Harris blew both of them. I shouldn't have said that. But seriously, I mean, first Hillary loses to Donald and now Kamala. This man has beaten more women than Doug Emhoff. Anyways, congrats on losing to Hitler again. I hope he locked you all up this time. Dank Brandon out.
All right, Jonathan Miltimore, we missed him on Monday, but he's here in the waiting room. I'm going to go get him right now. I'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Don't go away, but if you're going to go anywhere, Go to forlibertyshop.com. Get yourself a Department of Government Efficiency hoodie. forlibertyshop.com. We'll be right back on the Wake Up America show with John Miltimore on the For Liberty Network.
And we begin our final sprint, having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today, that suppresses the rights of women and minorities, uses the military to execute the whims of a strongman dictator.
Good morning. Rise and freedom. From now on,
it's going to be America first, okay?
America first. Donald Trump elected the 47th president of the United States, the first president in 100 years since Grover Cleveland to win non-consecutive terms. Congratulations to Donald Trump and his campaign, and I think probably congrats to all of us. Everybody played a little role. You fascists joining us live right now. Another fascist like Jonathan Miltimore. John, welcome to the Wake Up America show, man.
Hey, good morning, AP. We're awake, right? I don't know about you, but I stayed up till about 3 o'clock last night. So I'm a little out of it, but I'm happy to be here and excited to talk about things.
Yes, FYI, I don't know if I've ever called you Jonathan before. I don't know if it is Jonathan or if it's just John. Is that, I don't want to.
My birth name is Jonathan. Nobody calls me that except my grandmother. But
okay, good to know, Jonathan. John, I didn't mean to do. I don't want to be like your grandma. So we just got done talking with Judge Andrew Napolitano, who gave us a nice, fresh, hot black pill this morning. He is not excited. There's no difference. Things aren't going to change. The Jewish donor class are the ones in charge, no matter what he says. His words, and he doesn't think that things are going to improve. Are you black pilled this morning, John, or are you feeling more red-pilled?
I understand why a judge might feel that way, but no, I'm not black-pilled. I think what we saw last night was, I think we kind of needed some faith in that election still work. And you listen to that clip, I think it was Joy Reid talking and calling everyone everyone fascist. If you look at the last week or two of the campaign, I heard a lot of people talking like fascists, and it was people really on the left. And
yes.
Austin, I've been coming on your show for months, and I kept saying I can't vote for Trump, but I wasn't saying that with enthusiasm. Just I can't do it. The last week pushed me over the edge, and I did. I cast a ballot for him yesterday, and because I can tell you the moments where it started to happen, like when all this, like where the media turned into this, Trump's going to put Liz Cheney on the firing line, like the whole firing squad thing. They took something he said, completely twisted it. Everyone ran with it. You heard people like Jen Psaki, going on and saying that we're going to crack down on social media. We know that we're going to take away Elon's contracts, the federal government, like they're for participating in democracy. Everyone was out there saying Elon will never get another contract if Harris wins. That is how a fascist talks. But Elon is doing what every American has a right to do, to go out there and say, I want this candidate to win, and I'm going to make the case for him. And they're going to penalize him through the federal government saying, we're going to take away these multi-million-dollar contracts, these billion-dollar contracts from you. That is how a fascist talks. So they can call Trump a fascist all they want, but their own words they were the ones sounding very authoritarian, pretty frightening. And I think that, there's a lot of reasons you can look and say why Trump, won. I think a lot of they sounded more scary than Trump.
Yeah. So this is the kind of rhetoric that we heard on MSNBC last night. Hold on one second. Let me grab the right video. There it is.
Project 2021.
This is Joy Reid talking about Florida.
It's a pure Project 2025 in miniature in Florida. And that kind of extreme, sort of extremist, right-wing, fascist type government in Florida, does that make it a more attractive place, or does it make it more like some of the other southern states that don't get a lot of investment and interest from?
Florida, Project 2025, pure fascist state. And if there's any way you could turn up your mic volume at all on your end somehow while this is happening, that would also be really nice. So
yeah, you got it.
Go ahead. Project 2025, Florida, pure fascist state. Interesting.
Yeah, I talked to a friend yesterday who's an independent, not a Trump voter. I don't know if she voted for Chase or for Harris, but this person even told me, like, listening to this rhetoric about Project 2025, she said they have to create this, like something that Trump isn't even, his fingerprints aren't even on this, and they had to go find this little boogeyman and make that the point of attack to scare everyone, because Trump wasn't proposing all the scary things that they were hoping, like all these evil right-wing plots himself. So they created this 2025. I know it's an actual project by the Heritage Foundation, whoever put it out there. If you look under the hood, all the people talking about this haven't read the 785 pages or whatever it is. It just became a tool to try to attack Trump with. It didn't work. I mean, this is why I'm not black-pilled right now. Like, I realize that the problems we face are serious, right? I don't think Trump or Elon can fix all of them. I think progress long-term when you look at the federal debt, when you look about an out-of-control bureaucracy. But I saw last night things worked, right? Like when you're trying to put your political opponent in prison, which is what we saw them doing for the last year, that historically doesn't work, right? And this is something I'm going to write an article on. We've seen this before. Like this was James Madison, a president that Americans adore in history. He was doing the same thing. He was putting political opponents in jail in 1800, and he got whooped by Jefferson. And I think there's something that when Americans see this, said, no, we don't want that. And if we could just continue to reject presidents that are trying to put their political opponents in jail, that's a good thing. And people could say, oh, Trump broke the law. These were very politically motivated attacks on Trump. And I think even you'll find Democrats that concede that. Like these were very political motivated attacks. And those were the things I think Americans look at. We don't want to be like those other countries.
Completely agree. I'm speaking to John Miltimore. He works for the American Institute of Economic Research, and he is, like me, a hardcore capitalist, so I hope he won't mind very briefly. I'll do this quick 1-minute live read from our friends over at Rumble. Before I forget, hold on, John, I just want to remind people how important it is for us to support the platform that is allowing us to communicate today. When Rumble first started back in 2013, they started this platform for people like me to be able to build little mini empires. And certainly now the For Liberty Network is turning into an incredible little libertarian media empire. And it's a huge part of our success has to do with Rumble. They did not give in to the censorship demands from the Biden administration. Corporate America, big tech, colluding with the government to clamp down on free speech, not over at Rumble. They're fighting for free speech. And I'm asking you today, if you can afford it, to join Rumble's community of paid subscribers. I'm a paid subscriber to Rumble. I support their mission. I give them $10 a month. They have a promo code that you can use called Studio. When you purchase an annual subscription, you can get $10 off. That way you get fewer ads and you can enjoy your Rumble experience and support free speech. Go to rumble.com/premium and use the code Studio. And if you can't, don't worry. They're just happy that you can support Rumble and free speech. We appreciate that very much. Let me bring John back in. John, I hope you understand capitalism being what it is. But capitalism's back on the menu. I mean, Donald Trump isn't a philosophical capitalist in like we are, or an ideological capitalist like we are, John. He's more of an instinctual capitalist, someone who's actually practiced capitalism, seen what it's taken in to actually do things like build buildings in Manhattan and New York City. The man understands how to build. He's not a destroyer. He is a builder, an architect. And quite frankly, that is quite refreshing from most politicians that we have in the past, whether they're even, libertarian ideologues that I have supported in the past, or even run for office as an ideologue myself. People were always like, Austin, you've got no experience. You're not a business leader or a mogul or things like that. And that is true. And while it would be nice to have a Ron Paul or something as president of the United States, there's something I think really important at this time in history to have a man who is saying we want growth. He's pro-growth, John, and overall that is a very powerful and important thing and an important value that we philosophical and ideological libertarians should support fully. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, of course, absolutely. And if you look, Trump is instinctively capitalist, right? Like what I mean by that is he understands as a businessman himself. I think he has a philosophy. He's going to get the government out of the way. That's something we haven't seen the last 4 years. Look at what the FTC has been doing. Lena Khan over there. They're involved in every merger and acquisition you want to have. They instinctively are hostile to companies merging and things like this. If you look at what markets were doing last night, they were responding as Trump was winning. And part of it's just because you have the certainty of the election. Markets like certainty. But there's also this, like, companies now know they're not going to get their knuckles cracked, for trying to grow their company, to buy other companies and get accused of antitrust. Lena Khan was very aggressive. And if you look back a couple of weeks, like the Washington Post didn't endorse a candidate. And everybody came up because they're afraid of Trump, clapping back, or he's going to punish them. My theory on this, and I haven't written about this, but my theory is Bezos is tired of getting dragged through the mud by the FTC and all these lawsuits he's facing. He's a businessman. And this lawsuit goes back years with the FTC. They're trying to get it resolved. They didn't just a few months ago. It's getting dragged on. Businessmen like him, like Mark Zuckerberg, they're tired of getting pushed around by these powers in Washington. And I think Trump is going to be like, no, we're not your enemy. We're going to let you grow. We're going to let you do business. And that's good for everyone.
I'm reading a tweet this morning from one Democratic activist, a white liberal female from Washington, D.C., describes herself as a former Republican, now a D.C. Dem, 27 years old, Ali Samarco. Here's what she had to say. She said, white men without college degrees are going to ruin this country. I have a college degree. I'm a white man. I have a college degree. John, do you have a college degree? Maybe we're not going to be the ones, but it's all those morons who are out and who live here in Jefferson City with me who make more money than me because they have trade educations, and they're welders or they're plumbers or they're architects or they're designers or whatever. They don't have college degrees, but architects would. But I sure do pay a lot of money to Roto-Rooter to come out and fix my city water problem that I got with the sewer design. Those guys make a lot more money than I do, even though I'm doing pretty good this morning streaming, but they make more money than I do. But those are the men. They're the problem. The white men without college degrees, apparently they know who their enemy are, John. It's those men who showed up to vote last night. It was a very gendered election, was it not?
I haven't dialed into the metrics that much and into that. I know there's a lot of talk about that. I'll push back on our point about white men. Trump absolutely crushed it with the Latino vote. He did very well in these historically deeply Democratic communities like Milwaukee and Philadelphia. He improved everywhere. So this idea that getting all the white men with pitchforks fired up. When I heard that narrative on several channels, it's nonsense. Here's what you're witnessing. The Democratic coalition is breaking, and they're losing a lot of these minority groups that they've counted on for years. They're panicked by that. and they're going back to their old playbook and just saying, no, it's the dirty old white men that are your enemy. That message is failing. If they're trying to continue with that message, they're going to continue to get thumped. They need to pivot. They need to wake up and realize this whole DEI campaign, like where everything's about race and gender and class, that formula is not working. There's a bunch of new people in America that are looking at that. They're rejecting that mentality. I hope Democrats can reflect on this.
No, you're right. I'm reading this tweet this morning from a lefty, Brianna Wu. She says the Democratic path forward: jettison the commies, Hamas fans, and designer gender crowd. No more land acknowledgements. No more trying to please everyone. We have a point of view. Fight for normal people. Whatever gets in the way of that, we stop doing. Oh my God. Maybe they have figured it out. Maybe we don't want them to figure it out, John.
I think there are some people that are trying to embrace that message, and there's some people that were trying and they've already left. Right? You know, we can think about some of the personalities that have said, no, I'm not on this train. Hopefully there's some real soul searching for Democrats that happens, and I mean that, because I do think we want a vibrant two-party system, like or three-party system. I'm not trying to leave libertarians out, but we need sane leaders and we need sane parties. In the last 4 years, we have not seen that, and I hope I don't want to continue this level of toxic American politics. It's really out of control, and we need to reject that. I hope the parties can do that.
Well, Chase, speaking of the libertarians, Chase Oliver got a historically low vote total. He actually got less than the Green Party. We're on a path to a blowout where the Libertarian Party will not be the third place candidate for the first time since Ross Perot in 1992. To what do you attribute the complete and utter demolition of what the Libertarian Party was building during even the Gary Johnson years? 2016, they got 3%, raised tens of millions of dollars. Now they didn't raise $1 million, and they're in 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth place nationally.
There's a couple things. One, we saw Ron Paul come out late in this election and fully, embrace Trump and some of his efforts, what he's trying to do, with the Fed. That had an impact. Ron Paul still carries a lot of clout in the Libertarian Party, and for good reason. So I think that was one factor. Another one is I think if you look, Chase made he fumbled the ball down the stretch. And I think his ideas just aren't palatable to where libertarians are today. Here's one example. I went on, I watched the video and I couldn't believe it, because I said, why is the Libertarian candidate supporting taxpayer-funded surgeries for transgender federal? And I watched it, and that message, I don't know if Chase would look back and say, well, maybe I phrased that poorly or something. That message is not going to go to anyone. Like even the leftists I saw, like, but the progressives, like, what this is a bad, put that over there. Republicans certainly hate it. Libertarians don't want that. So why do we have a libertarian candidate that was out there saying, yeah, like taxpayer funded surgeries for trans surgeries for inmates makes sense? That kind of message is not going to work in politics. I'm sorry. Like he might have in his mind said this makes sense under these conditions, but things like that, like, not a good winning political strategy.
Just to be an asshole, but how do you think Joe Biden's feeling this morning? Good or sad? Do you think he's feeling happy, or do you think he's feeling sad?
I think Joe Biden feels a little vindicated. I'm not going to lie, because he did not like the way he was shoved off the stage. He shouldn't have been shoved off the stage in that way. If there are real concerns about this, those should have been addressed. But you don't have a man run a primary, win the primary, and then shove him off the stage, put his vice president, candidate on the head of the ticket in that fashion. I think Biden was shocked by it. I think they used all kinds of leverage to get him to do it. And him and Obama at that I think it was at a funeral for Ethel Kennedy or something. They were talking, and you could see Joe. He says, "I'm stronger than she is." He said, "I'm stronger than," and Obama nods. And so I think Joe Biden has pride. I think that hurt him, and I think he's feeling a little vindicated. It was a bad move by Democrats.
Yeah, I just posted a GIF of an NFL player, and it said Joe Biden watching Kamala Harris slink back into the White House this morning. He's just kind of like, Hey, guess what's trending this morning on Elon's platform? Rand Paul, the next Senate Majority Leader. Oh my God.
I mean, that's what we haven't even talked about that.
Hold on one second, John.
Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Oh. John, how you feeling today, buddy? What do you think of that? Oh,
we didn't even talk about the Senate yet. There was so much that, so many candidates that I want to see lose. I'll say that, Laws. So, like, there's gonna, Trump has some room. Now, I'm gonna go a little bit judge, here in my black pill. I've seen this too many times. Everybody get ecstatic about an election, and then Washington doesn't change. And I think that there's a real possibility of that. But I do feel, this whole idea that they had the right playbook, right? Like Elon's talking about dismantling the apparatus in D.C. We can just look at some of the things Milei is doing right now in Argentina. There is a playbook to do this. Will Republicans have to be serious about tackling spending?
Yes.
If they don't, this is not going to last much longer. We can't sit here and run $1 trillion
it's gonna
deficits
happen.
over and over.
He's gonna bring in Elon Musk. All of the people watching the show right now, which there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching this show live right now, are all going to go to forlibertyshop.com and they're going to buy their Department of Government Efficiency t-shirts, their official Doge Field Agent t-shirts that you can get exclusively. I designed the logo for the agency. Thank you very much. And get your Doge Field Agent t-shirt, or since it's getting cold outside, a little nippy in the mornings, you can get an official Doge Field Agent hoodie at forlibertyshop.com. We're gonna have Elon Musk come in. He's going to bring in Ron Paul, Vivek Ramaswamy. They're going to fire everybody. They're going to have a state dinner at the White House with Javier Milei. They're going to eat McDonald's, and the French fries will be fried in beef tallow. Will they not?
From your lips to God's ears, man. Like, because that's what needs to happen. We need to have serious cuts in Washington. There's an appetite to do it. They need to strike while the iron is hot. Make it happen. And that's really what they got to do. Like, I think there is a mandate for this now. Just make some cuts. We've been hearing about the Department of Education. Make it happen, right? Like make the case for it. And I don't mean like trimming the budget here and there. There needs to be departments that go, that these do not serve the American people anymore. The education system's a wreck. If you look at what's happened since the Department of Education was erected, it's been a disaster. Make it go, follow up through on your words. Let's see it happen.
Let's see it happen. I'm for it. Let's do it. It's only going to happen if we push for it. It's only going to happen, John, if we believe we can do it. If we don't believe we can do it, you can't. If the answer is, can I do it? The answer is no. This attitude that has come from libertarians, and I was kind of like getting a little, I was kind of going after the judge a little bit this morning with this intensive blackpilling that I get from the liberty movement, is that I don't want to feel as if my philosophy is a millstone around my neck with an anchor tied to the end of it, throwing me off the bottom of the ocean, and I have to die. Remember when George W. Bush said, the Constitution isn't a suicide pact? Well, he's right, and neither is the non-aggression principle. Like if there's this ideological divide between libertarians on something as significant as abortion, then you can't tell me you're not a real libertarian because you support Israel's war against the terrorist genocide, the genocidal terrorists of Hamas that want to kill every Jew in the Middle East, and we have a difference of opinion on that foreign policy conflict, and you're going to use that as a purity test against me. I'm not playing that game anymore, John. I'm not. When these losers come at me, I don't care how big their Twitter accounts are, they're losers. And if they come for me, I'm just going to jump over them and ignore them. I'm going to fade them, and then I'm going to juke, jive, and score a touchdown for liberty because I'm tired of losing I'm tired of losertarianism. I'm tired of lulbertarianism. I'm tired of this gay leftist Reason Magazine, Chase Oliver, effete left liberal version of libertarianism that has no balls because they've either sold their soul a long time ago to the Democratic Party, or they have literally cut their testicles off. I'm not going down that road. You can do whatever you want in a free society as adults. Don't touch the kids. Right. But I'm not backing down anymore to these bullies, these loser nerds, these angry nerds online who want to pick apart absolutely everything. You know what? I don't care about purity. I don't, John. I don't care anymore. It's holding us back. And especially when you can't get Ron Paul and Murray Rothbard to agree on something as significant as abortion, I'm going to do what I think is right and what's right for my country, for my family, and continue to press forward. How about you?
Yeah, and you are a principled guy, right? Like that. That's what I don't like is when people become purely political creatures, it ends up making them toxic people. But you have the right principles. But I'm going to stick up for some of the folks that you're going after. Many I've talked to, they're like, if Trump was going to do these things, why didn't he do them last time? And here's
because
my
you can't the
response
first
to them.
time because you have to get reelected, and then the second time you're actually freed up to do the damage you wanted to do the first time.
And I'll go deeper than that. Here was they were after him before he was even sworn in. He had the FBI coming after him. They were trying to put him in prison for a Russia conspiracy from day one. He didn't really have time to govern, right? He didn't have time to go after these departments in earnest. I don't think that's going to be the case now. We'll probably hear some people talking about Russia did this and Putin did that, but I think Trump is now going to be able to govern, and we'll see if he can really make the cuts, really get aggressive. I think he understands. If you listen to him, I think he understands that Washington's has a lot of problems, and it's taking this country down. If we don't correct things, if we don't bring back sound money and sound policies and these things, this country is not going to be here by the time I'm a grandfather. We're in bad shape. If you look historically, empires, democracies that go down this road, start printing money, they don't last that long. They decline. And when they have all these foreign conflicts that they get sucked into, we need to fix these things. And
I will always listen. I will always listen to what you have to say, John. I consider you a good friend. I think you're a leader in this movement, and I have great respect for you. But when it comes to street fighting tactics, when it comes to a knife fight, I hope that you will stand right behind me and get my back while I get out there and get dirty and hoist the black flag and begin slitting throats. Is there anything else, John, that you would like to share before we let you go?
No, I still I'm just gonna eat my breakfast, get caught up on election stuff like you. Like I was up super late, so I gotta kind of get caught up on these things. But check out my Substack, The Take by John Miltimore. Other than that, I'll let you on your way.
There you go. John Miltimore, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you again next Monday. Sorry about this Monday.
Hey, no sweat, man. Have a great week, AP.
Have a good one.
All right, guys, it's time to go to bed. None of us are stressed about the election, right? We all are gonna just go have the best night's sleep of our lives, aren't we?
When did it end? All the enjoyment, I'm sad. When did it end? All the enjoyment, I'm sad again.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this.
It's not gonna happen. Go,
From now on, it's going to be
Guys,
America
we literally
first,
don't even have to
okay?
we literally don't even have to
America
freak out right now. We don't even have to fucking, we don't have to freak out. We don't have to freak out because it's not even real. Because, bitch, recount the vote!
Guys, I just voted, and I chose family.
End this reign of terror now.
I chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
Moving on.
AP for Liberty has left the building. I come to you now as Dark AP for Liberty. Ready to make America great again and to make America free again. That's what we're all about here on the Wake Up America show. Did you enjoy it today? I have to ask you a favor. A couple, actually, if you'll stick around real quick. Did you click the like button? Please do that before you leave. It's totally free. But if you enjoyed the content and you say to yourself, I'd like to come back tomorrow, then the easiest, fastest way to find us is to make sure you follow the account that you're watching us on. You might be watching us on X.com, like a lot of people are watching us over on X.com this morning, and you might not even be following me over on X. They might have just put you in my feed, and we are this morning with 5,400 people. I imagine that 5,400 of you are probably not following me, AP for Liberty, this morning. So please do follow me there on X. If it's on Rumble, follow me as well. You want to follow my account, AP for Liberty, before you leave so you can find me again tomorrow morning, because we stream this show live 5 days a week. That's Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. I've got to go because I've got a whole lot of products that I got to deal with here on forlibertyshop.com. I got to go make a bunch of new Trump One t-shirts, Trump One hoodies. You're going to want to watch forlibertyshop.com today because I'm going to be dropping products like crazy. But if you're just brand new to forlibertyshop.com, try the coffee. And once you taste it, you're going to come back because you're going to see how high quality our products are that we offer. It's ultra premium Founding Flavors coffee. Today I'm drinking James Madison's Madisonian morning coffee. You can get these exclusively at forlibertyshop.com. Remember, when you see the price, don't freak out that now Donald Trump is president of the United States. You can afford it, baby. And it includes shipping. Can you bless me with something?
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
Go to forlibertyshop.com. We've got great shirts like these, Don't Tread on Me shirts, Founding Flavors coffee, Donald Trump MAGA hats, the Department of Government Efficiency hoodies are selling like crazy. So head to forlibertyshop.com, guys, and we'll see you here tomorrow. I'm going to be working all day. No rest for the wicked. My family's coming in town this weekend. I'm basically dead. I'm dead. Not because they're going to hurt me, but so done. Try and take a nap. Maybe I'll go home and take a little nap. All right, I'll see you guys here tomorrow. Love you guys. Congratulations, Donald Trump. Congratulations to everybody who fought for this victory. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow morning on the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network.
And I approve this message. Believe me, Austin Petersen is the best. He's got the greatest Wake Up America show I've ever seen. Whenever I tune in the mornings and watch the live stream, let me tell you, he has got the absolute best content. I love his guests. It's just a total blast to watch. And I highly endorse and recommend the Wake Up America show. It's terrific. Believe me.
Is the outdoor of your home about as exciting as a library? Then spice it up and unbore your space with our custom metal signs. Crafted with love and a bit of libertarian magic, you can customize your own metal sign at ap4libertyshop.com. So head to ap4libertyshop.com, customize your own metal sign today.
Before we go, I want to talk about things that people are afraid to say out loud. Let's ask a question that might shock you. Who is in control of America's nukes? It's probably not Joe Biden. Meanwhile, we've got Russian ships that are off the coast of Florida and full-blown wars in Ukraine and Israel, and that one keeps getting bigger by the week. The world is at its most unstable point since World War II. Every prepper who prepped before COVID-19 turned out to be right. They need to have in their prepper kit, though, RadioGuard Ace, the only FDA-approved drug to treat radioactive fallout. We sell a lot of these. Only the feds had it, until now. That's why Rumble partnered with 5G Free, the only company in the world that has a supply of RadioGuard Ace and the ability to prescribe it prophylactically. Get their radioactive emergency kit with RadioGuard Ace, potassium iodide, Zofran, and a Geiger counter. I'm a big prepper myself. There's simply no other tool in your arsenal to protect against a radioactive threat. Go to 5gfree.com, code STUDIO to save 15% and get your radiation kit now. We'll see you tomorrow. Congratulations, Donald Trump.